Before we continue with this video, we're here bringing it to you, man. This last round of the Brasileirão, and we had Palmeiras confirmed. It was already confirmed, but now we see Palmeiras scored 3-1 against Ceará. Relegated Ceará. Ceará is relegated. Ceará and Fortaleza. Christian Zanak. And unfortunately, Ceará and Fortaleza both relegated. They dislike Flamengo's fans and often say Northeast fans shouldn't support teams from elsewhere. But unfortunately now, who are you going to root for, right? Fortaleza and Ceará fans. Either you'll root for the second division or you'll have to support some team in Serie A, right? No problem. You don't have to root for Flamengo. Flamengo already has the biggest fan base in the Northeast. Flamengo is already the biggest fan base in the Northeast. Respect the Northeastern Flamengo fans. Respect the Northeasterners who have never been relegated. If the Flamengo fans don't like it, fine. I don't care. Respect the Northeasterners who have never been relegated. Did you get that, Ceará and Fortaleza? Fans, respect Flamengo. They've never been relegated. Show respect. The Northeasterner who supports Mango because he knows what's good deserves respect. Man, he's a Northeasterner who supports Flamengo. He's Flamengo, and it's his right to be Flamengo. He doesn't have to support a Northeast team. He can pick one from elsewhere. Yeah, he has good taste. So Juventude Sport 2, another Northeasterner also relegated. Juventude also relegated. And then they barely made it. Vasco da Gama barely made it. Vasco avoided relegation. They were on the edge, along with International and Vasco. Vitória and Inter were saved. Vasco lost 5-0 to Atlético Mineiro. It was a disgrace. Vasco didn't even make it to the Copa Sudamericana. They might get in depending on the winner of the Copa do Brasil because it could turn into a G8, right? And the Pre-Libertadores and the G8. But it's there. Santos made it into the Sudamericana. It's guaranteed. Santos and Corinthians guaranteed in the Sudamericana. For those who were about to be relegated, they secured a spot in the Sudamericana. Santos with Neymar and then Vasco. Then it went. They can still reach the G8 and qualify for the Libertadores. In this pre-Libertadores phase, Santos finished 9th, secured the Sudamericana, Bragantino Sudamericana, Atlético Mineiro Sudamericana, the king of the Sudamericana, the king of being runner-up in the Sudamericana. Santos secured the Sudamericana, Corinthians. Also there at Vasco, depending on a spot, either through the Copa do Brasil or if someone gives them a spot in the Sudamericana, because it could become a G8, Vitória, for those hoping for the Libertadores like Vasco. Now your only chance is the Copa do Brasil, Vitória. They didn't qualify for the Sudamericana or get relegated, so Inter was left in limbo just above the relegation zone. That was the last round, with Vasco taking a beating of 5. Wild unity, right? Imagine if it wasn't. Let's watch the video. Hey guys, red and black greetings. This is Flamengo. Very good. Welcome to Paparazzo Rubro-Negro. If you're just joining, please follow, like, and share on all platforms on YouTube. Subscribe below. Turn on notifications, hit the bell, and like the video. We have plenty to discuss. We even have the situation with Allan and Viña, who probably won't stay at Flamengo, right? In fact, Viña wasn't even listed for the Club World Cup and also wasn't listed for the game against Mirassol. That caused a lot of talk. That's it. We have Flamengo, who are already in Doha and have already trained at the Al Irsal training center. We also have information to bring about Cruz Azul, right? We also have the luxurious hotel where Flamengo is staying in Qatar. We're going to talk about a lot of things here for you all. I want to start right away by reminding you that, man, look, PIX do Milão is a benefits club, right? To compete for prizes every week, you buy points from the PIX do Milão Benefits Club. You can exchange your points for products, experiences, concerts, backstage passes, very important person boxes, and more. Use your points to get a variety of rewards. In addition, you get numbers, you receive lucky numbers to compete for many prizes. This month, you have, look, instant prizes of up to our dollar 1,000. If you win, our dollar 1,000 is added to your account, not our dollar 20,000 or our dollar 100,000. Besides that, there are 4 millionaire prizes, okay? There are 3 prizes of our dollar 1 million, and 1 prize of our dollar 2 million, that's our dollar 5 million in prizes, man. It's a unique opportunity with a super low price. You get points from the products that you can exchange and everything. You still receive lucky numbers to enter these prizes. You can win. It's tough, but everyone will have a chance. Someone will win, right? So we have 3 prizes of 1 million reais and 1 prize of 2 million reais. 3 prizes will be awarded on December 31st and the 2 million reais prize on the 2nd. So if you're buying now, you're competing for all these prizes until the 2nd. They're not those weekly prizes, no. You buy the points from the Benefits Club and participate until the end of the prize draw, which is on January 2nd. All right, so this is the Million PIX New Year's prize, okay? Take advantage now and get a great prize with a big discount. For you to have the chance to win huge prizes, there are millions of reais in prizes, plus instant prizes, up to thousands of reais. We're also here to remind you there's still time to secure your spot at the Intercontinental Cup, semifinals, and finals so you don't miss out. With Geraldo's Caravan, the prices, even though it's obviously not cheap to go to Qatar, you can get good prices and top-notch service with Geraldo's Caravan. I also want to remind you that you can buy the land package with the caravan, okay? You don't necessarily have to buy, for example, if you say, oh, I can easily handle the flight, I have miles, right? I have miles, so I can take care of the miles part, okay? You can use miles for travel and book the land package. Just say Paparazzo Rubro-Negro referred you, okay? Let me remind you, man, it's another interesting round, and we're always in that winning mood. I've already won. Remember to play responsibly. It's for people over 18. It's for fun, not an investment. So here we are, right? In this final round of the Brasileirão with news about Mengão, what matters to us? The Brasileirão is already over. Flamengo are champions. Flamengo are already in Doha, Qatar, training, and we're going to follow along here. I'm going to share with you here now to bring information about Mengão. I'm going to share footage from the training, right? Released by Flamengo Television. And yeah, you know that Flamengo has already trained there at the Azul Training Center, and I'm going to show you these images here. Here. Look at Danilo. Check it out. Check it out. Let's go. First training session. Shake off the jet lag. Shake off the jet lag. Let's go. Thanks. Yeah, shake off the jet lag. That's it. Shaking off the jet lag is important, right, man? Shaking off the jet lag is important because here's the thing, right, man? Flamengo talked about something that I think is important. Let me just share with you guys Flamengo's training, what Flamengo thought was best to train on the day they arrived there to avoid that jet lag, right? So you arrive to already adjust your sleep properly. You get there, train, you'll be tired. Then you get a good night's sleep and train again in the afternoon the next day. So Flamengo is making this adjustment to the time zone. There's a time difference there, and Flamengo is making this adaptation. That way, instead of resting to train the next day, Flamengo just arrives, trains, and then rests to train again the following day, right? Flamengo got an extra day to train. They practiced today, Monday, and Tuesday before facing Cruz Azul on Wednesday. We have some news to share with you here regarding Cruz Azul. Look, let me just show you Flamengo's training session, okay? We'll be following along with footage of Rodrigo Caio on the field, right? From Flamengo's training at the Al Ursel Training Center and us. So bringing you footage here from Flamengo Television, let me remove the logo here, right? Give credit and space to Flamengo Television and remember to subscribe. Let's go. There's important info, including the midfielder Allan, the left back Matias Viña, and the forward Michael, according to Globo Esporte, would be on Flamengo's release list. That's according to GE. Okay, guys, the trio has had little playing time in the professional team. Viña and Allan were not registered for the Intercontinental Cup and did not remain in Brazil to play with the under-20 team against Mirassol. Allan too, not just Viña. However, Michael's case is different since the team brought him to Paparazzo Rubro-Negro. Nothing has been decided yet regarding the forward. At the moment, the club is counting on Michael until the end of the season. He even traveled to Qatar, right, to join the group that will compete in the Intercontinental Cup. In fact, there are teams from Qatar interested in signing Michael. But it's important to say this, guys, regarding Viña, the player is already fine. He's already recovered. I think he's a great player. But Flamengo chose not to include him because they believe the other two, Alexandre and Ayrton Lucas, are in better shape at the moment. As for Allan, he has frequent recurring problems. It's about how easy it is to plant and the difficulty involved, right? About Flamengo using the player, De La Cruz is also another player who will end up leaving Flamengo, right? Because of his whole physical situation, right? Flamengo will likely have some departures. I believe Nicolas De La Cruz, Michael, Allan, and even Matias Viña, though I'm against it, will leave. He should have an opportunity. But we respect the decision of the coaching staff and the board. They know what's best for Flamengo. We're seeing Flamengo getting ready to face Cruz Azul, right? They arrive in Qatar after Flamengo, don't they? And the information is that the defender Jesus Chiquete Orozco from Cruz Azul suffered a very serious ankle injury during the semifinal of the Mexican Championship while blocking a shot from Angel Correa. He will be out of the match against Flamengo in the Intercontinental Cup. The frightening twist made the defender fall down crying. Ambulance assistance was needed, causing concern among players on both teams. Cruz Azul lost an important starter for the Doha tournament, right? For the World Championship, 23-year-old Orozco has played 16 games this season, scoring 1 goal and 1 assist. He's an important defender. People here say they want them at full strength. Only 1 midfielder and 1 winger are good. The rest are average, people say. Ellison Douglas, Leandro Pereira Ferreira, 27. With respect to Cruz Azul, if Flamengo plays determined and smart, they'll easily defeat them. But unfortunately, Flamengo doesn't like easy games and always makes things complicated. It's nerve-wracking, and I just hope Flamengo advances, my friends. Whether they win big or not, I just want them to move on. Okay. People joke that Tadinho will miss meeting the best in Brazil. Yeah, man, playing against Flamengo is always an extra motivation. I've seen this story before against Racing, right? And even so, the game was tough because the fans were commenting, right? But the truth is that Cruz Azul loses there. They're a great player in the defensive sector, right? An important player from the defensive sector who, for sure, is really missed by them. Look, we have some important information here. Flamengo finished the Brasileirão with the highest goal difference in the history of the competition with 20 teams. Here are the record holders. Flamengo, 51 goals in 2025. Flamengo, 49 goals in 2019. Corinthians, 40 goals in 2015. Cruzeiro, 40 goals in 2013. Palmeiras, 39 goals in 2022. Flamengo scored 78 goals, conceded 27 with a positive goal difference of 58. Man, that's a fantastic leap from Flamengo. Honestly, it's hard to beat that again, even for Flamengo themselves, obviously. Look at the players there. You're watching them doing that little jog, right? That little run during the evening training session in Doha, Qatar, at the training center used for practice, right? The Croatian national team used this training center during the 2022 World Cup, where they eliminated Brazil. Croatia trained there at Al-Assal, as well as the under-17 national team. So we're following along. We're watching Flamengo's training session. It's important for us to mention that. Luis Araujo is there. Arrascaeta, Milano's father, right? Okay. In the areas, the great Jorge André Arrascaeta, our foreign player present at Mengo's training There's Royal Pulga, right? All the players are taking part in a warm-up, a little recreational activity, right? And we're bringing you some important information here. I think we also have some really cool information to share about the hotel where Flamengo will be staying. So while Flamengo is focused on training at Al Arsal, they're also staying at a luxurious hotel in Doha, right? Flamengo landed in Doha this Sunday and is staying at one of the most luxurious hotels in the city, right? The same one that Botafogo used in the past. Look, I just knocked on wood here then. Flamengo will be in Doha, Qatar from the 17th to the 17th of December if they make it to the final, right? Debuting now on the 10th against Cruz Azul. The hotel is located just 3 kilometers from the airport and 27 kilometers from the Ahmad bin Ali Stadium, right? And it offers high standard infrastructure with swimming pools, a 24-hour gym, 3 restaurants, and accommodations ranging from rooms to 1,300 in an imperial suite costing around 40,000 Rs, okay? Inspired by 18th century Paris, the place combines exuberance and sobriety and also follows strict regular rules for alcohol consumption, which is only allowed in authorized areas. That's normal even over there in Qatar. The hotel looks extremely luxurious in these images, but that's typical. There are fans going to the Club World Cup over there in Doha, Qatar World Cup. You have to go to specific places to be able to drink. You can't drink almost anywhere. Okay, are you guys seeing Felipe Luis taking part in the rondo during Flamengo's training shown by Flamengo Television? Let's thank Flamengo Television, who allows us, by giving credit and keeping their logo, to use their footage. Our team will be arriving in Doha starting tomorrow. And there's the great Rodrigo Paiva, Flamengo, and Cruz Azul. The broadcast starts Wednesday at 2 post-meridium on Flamengo Television. Everyone will be watching on Flamengo Television with my dear João Guilherme. Incredible, epic, memorable, make some noise nation, right? We're also following Flamengo's training here. Footage from Flamengo Television. I'm very confident, let me tell you. While we see the group playing keepy uppy, the guys are just warming up to loosen their muscles too, as Danilo said, get the plane off their backs. The most important thing is that we can see how optimistic this group is. They're really aiming to become world champions. I think Flamengo is coming in really strong for this Intercontinental. Remember, Jorge Jesus' Flamengo managed to take Liverpool to extra time and lost by just 1 goal in overtime. The real detail is to bring you some important information here. You're watching Mengo's training on Flamengo Television. Flamengo also has the 10 largest crowds in the 2025 Brazilian Championship. Then people say, oh, it's outsourced. Oh, Flamengo doesn't deserve it. But Flamengo has everything, man. Check it out. Flamengo 1-0 against Ceará, 73,244. Flamengo 0-0 with Cruzeiro, 72,565. Flamengo 3-2 against Palmeiras, 71,651. And it's cool that the record was against Ceará. Now, that game there was the one that decided the title. Flamengo 3-0, Santos 69,612. Flamengo 3-0, Bull 408. Flamengo 3-0, Esporte 67,598. Flamengo 4-0, Corinthians 67,501. 2-0, Paulo 67,359. Information Studios, Anoto Flamengo 5. Flamengo 1, Grêmio 164,495. In that game, Flamengo versus Grêmio, Flamengo was robbed at the end by an absurd penalty. Flamengo should have already been champions before, guys. Flamengo should have already been champions before. And earlier, while you keep watching images of Mengao's training, Felipe joining in the rondo, Felipe always taking part, very participative. Let me say, many people claim the Brasileirão, the Brazilian championship, truly began in 1971. The Brasileirão started in 1971. Flamengo has 9 titles, Palmeiras 8, and Corinthians 7. Okay, so other teams have a lot less. For example, São Paulo has 6, Vasco has 4, Cruzeiro, Fluminense, and Inter have 3. Atlético Mineiro, Grêmio, Botafogo, and Santos each have 2. So these are the Brazilian champions, with Flamengo being the record holder, the one with the most, with 9. Forget about that Robertão fax thing that Palmeiras made up because Del Nero was the president of Palmeiras. He was at the Brazilian Football Confederation too, and the guy was a Palmeiras executive, a fanatic Palmeiras supporter, and he started sending faxes to Palmeiras. Yeah, there are 2 titles in the same year, so for me, whoever has more has 9. And if you want to count Palmeiras' fax titles, and we count all the national titles of Flamengo and Palmeiras, Flamengo still down by 2. Flamengo surpassed. So, man, Palmeiras, our regular opponent, hasn't beaten Flamengo since 2017. Total regular, man. It's one of the biggest regular opponents in South America. It's one of the greatest stories of rivalry in South America. We're here watching the latest footage from Flamengo's night training in Doha, Qatar, keeping an eye on the players. Felipe is joking around. Look at that. That banter, Jorginho is also having a great time there with Felipe and everyone else. At one point, we saw Rodrigo Caio joking with Felipe. That was the best part. You can see, man, the energy of this group, right? How this group has such good energy. I'm really confident, and you comment here, are you confident that Flamengo can win this world title, this Intercontinental? By the way, I saw Thiago Leifert say that, yes, it is a world title, okay? Otherwise, you'd have to revoke all the world titles São Paulo and other teams have. If this Intercontinental isn't a world title, then São Paulo's and others shouldn't count either. Then everyone says, no, Inter, so you can take it away. And it's Federação Internacional de Football Association. Okay, so it's a world title. Yes, guys, it's a world title. It matters a lot. People need to understand. It will also count perfectly as a world title, simple and straightforward. They can try to disqualify it and all, but this Intercontinental, for me, it's worth even more than the old Toyota. Because you have 3 trophies at stake. The Derby of the Americas, the Challenger Cup, and the Intercontinental are 3 trophies at stake. Besides the 3 trophies, it's important to mention this. You play against the champion of Central America, from Mexico, and so on. And you also play against a team from Egypt, the champion of Asia. Then you play the final against the Europeans. So, man, you're facing everyone pretty much from all corners of the world. You have a real world championship. It's not just a game between America and Europe. So I think that's to disqualify it, then it's impossible, right? You could say that, oh, the Club World Cup has more weight, but I think this World Championship, the Intercontinental, will keep being worth even more. It'll be worth the same, but I mean, it has more weight than the one that was just a single game, right? I hope Flamengo wins. We know that people will always try to downplay it, but if they're champions, they're world champions, yes. I invite you to follow, like, and share on all platforms. If you're on YouTube, I invite you to subscribe down below, turn on notifications by clicking the bell, and leave a cool like on the video. Thank you so much for your company. Greetings from Bruno Negras. This is Flamengo. Big hug. Thanks. I'm out.